Okay, so we have completed populate, reverse populate. So to select specific field, someone has said just we can use populate or we can use aggregation method like projection, right? Of course, definitely we can do. And reverse populate means we can create a specific field through virtual. So we can create a field which is not inside our model, but still we can create it by virtual. And in reverse populate means we can create that field or populate that field in other one from means which is not in the direct query. So for example, here we have given one example that where how you can populate. So in course, if you want to, if there is any reference of another collection or another, yes, another collection like bootcamp, okay, and is reference to the ID of the bootcamp over here inside the course, then if you want to find or if you want to fetch data of all courses related to that bootcamp, then you can do it over here. And if you want to populate a specific field, you can do using through populate. You see this example. Also, how you can do it reverse populate means reverse populate means we are creating a field which is not there in bootcamp like courses. Okay, so if you want to populate all the courses related to that bootcamp inside the bootcamp, inside the bootcamp data, then you have to use reverse populate, right? So we did that yesterday. Let's see once again. So if you see the get bootcamps from here, so you can see courses inside it, right? Did you see? So this specific bootcamp has two courses. Same if you want to populate inside the courses by referencing the ID of the bootcamp. So you can see how we can populate all the fields. So right now I'm displaying all the fields over here. Or if you want to populate only specific fields, controller, bootcamp controller. Okay. Here, for example, I am populating only courses. I am putting the field name only courses, right? And how this field has been created through virtuals, right? Virtual field. It was not in the schema, but I have created it virtually, right? Created it virtually and populate it. So if you want to populate it, populate specific field, then you can put it put here an object, and path should be courses, and the select parameter you can pass what are the field you need to populate over there. Now, do you have any doubt? And do you have any doubt? Anybody else till now?
No, 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 this is okay. CK, I have a question. Can we create the queries on populate fields?
Means
Means according to the course, I need to filter the course here.
yes.
So
You want
can
to
I
put some
put the
condition
query?
over here. You want to put some
Yes,
condition.
yes, 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 yes,
So
yes.
you can
That
you
is
can
exposed.
you can put condition after taking it. Means if you filter them, means what type of condition? For example, I'm pulling all the information related to these courses. For example, right? I am putting all
Ha,
the courses related to this bootcamp right now. So bootcamp object is here. So what do you want to filter over here? What you want to put the condition over here? Those who are
okay.
greater than this, or so for that you can use aggregation.
Okay.
Do you have an idea about aggregation?
No,
Aggregation
not.
is a powerful things which is most of the time we use like lookup method, most of the time we use that. Lookup, then match, then another thing is group. These three things were used. Lookup is specially used for the join in the relational database. The replacement of join is the lookup, which is the aggregate function. So we'll see after this. Okay, so this is what the populate is only used only for the specific field population, for specific reference ID. For example, I'm using a reference ID of another table, but whenever only ID is there, you're populating inside, displaying inside my data or document. But if you want to instead of ID, if you want to populate all the fields of that record of that document, then you can uh, display it through populate. And also using populate, you can display specific field of that reference ID, right? So let's jump to so did you guys complete this crowd operation?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So let me create then for you for get courses, get single courses. So it's very easy, in 2 minutes you can complete it. So inside course controller, let me go inside course controller, let me paste it, very simple. So what would be the path? Path would be like API version 1 courses, right? Courses with bootcamp ID courses. Putting another one. Yeah, call आ Okay, so now URL will be like get courses, get only courses. So slash bootcamp ID and courses, then you can get all the courses over here. We can get all the courses, and these are we have completed. Sorry, I'm doing something else. Now for single courses, now we are going to create courses. Sorry, it is already there. So to create one courses, what we have to do? So it is not bootcamp schema. I have just changed it. So I need to first import this. I think it is already there. Course model, I have to import it. Then this is create. So create courses, add courses. So what would be the URL? The URL will be like API version 1 bootcamp, then bootcamp ID and courses. So why this URL is required? This bootcamp bootcamps and bootcamp IDs, they are required for their inserting the data, because whenever you are adding any courses, so it is mandatory that you have to put the bootcamp ID over there as a reference ID. That's why we need it. So whenever you are adding any data to courses, so bootcamp ID is always required. But before entering data or inserting data, you have to first check whether bootcamp ID is there or not. If bootcamp ID is not there, then you should throw an error, because it is a mandatory field, because any courses will not be there which is not associated with any bootcamp, right? So first we have to check whether the bootcamp is there or not from bootcamp ID. If not there, then we'll throw an error that bootcamp ID is not there, and you can return it from here. When if there, then we just insert the data with all the information. So it is very simple. Let me do another thing, another like update. So update is very simple, just like courses and ID. Courses slash ID. You guys are now acquainted with CRUD operation, so I don't want to explain more over here. So you can see find by ID. First you have to find it. If course is there, then it is fine. If not there, then we'll return it from here. And then I'm just finding and update it, finding the ID from here. So what is the information we require at the time of update? So we need which document you need to update. So for that we are passing, first parameter is the which document you want to update, then what are the data you want to update over here. And this object is always required, that run validated true, whether the validation should apply or not, and a new true. These two, these thing also I have explained in whenever you're creating the CRUD operation for bootcamp as well. So at the time of updating, then this is delete courses. So what is the method we are using for delete purpose? So in bootcamp we use find by ID and delete, right? But right now you can see I'm using find by ID and I'm remove them. Use remove method. Otherwise everything is same. Correct? So why I'm using it? Because if I use here find by ID and delete like this and delete, then it will not work at the time of cascaded delete. What is cascaded delete? Cascaded delete means whenever you want to delete a bootcamp, so I want to delete the courses related to the bootcamp as well. So for that I have already created some pre and post middleware in Mongo's model to do this operation, right? So whenever I delete any bootcamp, so I want to delete all the courses related to this. So at that time, this find by ID and delete will not work. So what we have to do, we have to find, first we have to find all the find the document uh, uh, with ID, with this ID, then we can remove them, use remove method, right?
Sir,
Yes.
there are two methods like find by ID and remove, find by ID and delete. So is there any difference between them?
Yes, remove method you should use. Also delete many is there. Delete many.
Uh,
Okay, you
no,
can
sir, I'm asking
remove
about
most of the time.
at line number 90, we are using find by ID.
Yes,
Then at line number 99, we are removing it.
yes.
So I
So
was able to
because
see one another function there, find by ID and remove.
yes, we can use that. But why I'm not find by ID and remove, both we can use and by ID. And in case of remove, you can pass any other filter over there instead of ID. Do you understand?
Okay.
Just like find by ID for single parameter I'm talking about. Let me explain you. Uh, Courses, get courses. So if you use this one find only and you pass any specific parameter like this, so what I'm doing over here, I'm just filtering. I can also use here find by ID, and inside the method I can use this parameter. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But inside find also I can pass this object which also work in the same manner. But find by ID works faster than this one. This is a general filter inside the database. The traversing is more rather than finding the ID, because by default MongoDB has indexed on ID field. What is indexing? I later in detail section will understand. So that's
Okay.
why that is faster. But find by ID and remove, uh, but find by ID and remove and find by ID and delete will not work whenever you are delete cascade, use cascade delete. Means whenever you are deleting bootcamp, so all the related courses should be deleted. Yes or no?
Yes.
So for that we
Yes.
have to use in this way. That is what I,
Okay.
because
CK, here you are using on the course controller, but the scenario should be in the bootcamp controller, no? When we are
yes,
going
yes,
to
but I am going to call it inside bootcamp controller as well. I'll show you how what I am going to do.
okay,
Yes,
here it is not
because
necessary, no?
no, I am going to use this method whenever I'm deleting it.
you are deleting a course right now, right? So course is not depending on some other fields, but
Exactly.
the
But
bootcamp is dependent.
whenever I am deleting bootcamp, at that time I'm going to
Yes,
call this method. So at that
you
time
know,
it
no, I got the concept, but here it is not. Okay,
I am
I
going to
got
do
this.
later. I am going to do later. That's why I have wrote
Yeah,
in this way. That is what I'm saying.
sure,
Okay.
sure. Thanks.
Because at that time definitely I have to change it again because it will not work. Because I am not going to write again this code inside that this controller, that controller. I am going to call this method. I'll show you in model. I'll show you middleware. Okay. So these are very simple. So you can test it. It will work definitely. Okay. So now I have created all methods inside controller, but we have to add those things because I have to change in route also. So what are the methods which is going to be display? First I have to import it, right? Let me go inside route, course route. So right now it is only one method. There is only one methods like get courses which I have already created, but right now we have created all four methods for crowd operation. So I just import them. Then what I will do, I will set the route. So the add courses where I want to edit. So it is not here. I have to add it over here. So route slash, which is here already. So I can add dot post and add course. The same URL, right? Let me do this like this. So it will be for this route we can get add courses. And for slash id it is very simple. Get single courses, update single courses, and delete single courses. Okay. So again at the bottom I am exporting this router. What is the method name? Then get courses is not there. Add course, update course. What is get course? We didn't created it. Okay, we have not created it. It's fine. It is very simple. Simple. So let me add it just below it. Close it. Yes, now it is there. Okay, now it is working. So you can test it by yourself the same way. You can just use those URLs as I mentioned inside the controller. If you can see, like api.version.courses slash id, so you can get single courses. So this is same as the same as the get courses with particular bootcamp. So you can use the same URL for creating. Then you can update it same courses slash id, same delete courses slash id. So you can do it, right? So you can check it, it will work. Don't, not in big deal. So now main
uh,
important thing is, yes.
ठीक है, I have a questions. म- मैं अभी इसको हिंदी में बोलता हूँ तो ज़्यादा अच्छी तरह से मैं आपको
हम्म,
समझा पाऊंगा।
बोलो बोलो।
अभी जो अपने ये जो राउटिंग बनाया है ना कोर्स के लिए,
हम्म
तो आपने बूट कैम्प स्लैश बूट कैम्प आईडी स्लैश कोर्सेस,
हम्म
राइट, क्योंकि आपने उसको यूज किया, हुक किया हुआ है
हम्म
राउट को। तो अभी आपने एक्स्ट्रा जो राउटिंग बनाया, जैसे एडिट के लिए, गेट के लिए, डिलीट के लिए, तो उनके लिए अलग से आपने बनाया, राइट? तो
हम्म।
वो भी उसी के साथ हम यूज कर सकते हैं ना?
बट उसमें जरूरत ही नहीं है ना।
लेकिन एक एक फ्लॉज है,
अब
मेरे को ऐसा लगा,
if
मैंने
I
प्रैक्टिस
want to,
कर रहा था।
if I want to delete the courses, is it dependent on bootcamp ID? Not. If
नो,
you
इट
have
इज
to,
नॉट
of
डिपेंडेंट।
course,
हाँ वो,
but in case of add or get, so it is required.
बट आई, okay, that is fine, but I can reach by this API also. That is my
Means
question.
means
When I am getting, suppose I want to get one courses by
mm,
course ID, so
mm.
API will be slash courses slash ID, right?
Yes, yes, you can reach
Right.
by this way, but if
uh,
required, then you can reach through it, because
but
I don't require bootcamp ID whenever I am fetching data for the courses.
you don't
Of
need,
course.
but that time you don't need to put the exact bootcamp ID, you can pass ABCD also. So that is the
No, no, no.
flaws, I
It
think.
will throw an error. It will not allow if you
No, no,
ABCD
no,
and
no, 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 no. I tested yesterday. It is not getting error. That's why I'm asking you. It is a big flaws. अगर अगर मुझे कोई
means
दूसरे कोर्स की
just a minute. If you pass this ABCD and it will work.
हाँ, but when I
How
am
can it
getting the
work? How
on,
can it work? It will not work.
no, no, I'm telling you. Suppose I want to get only one course,
Hmm.
get course. I
Hmm.
want to call get course by course ID. So
Hmm.
there is a route slash ID,
You
right?
said like
So
this.
I will
You
go,
said like this.
yes,
Then what
yes.
about this? If you are not
So
passing
you,
any ID over here or wrong ID, so it will throw you error
हाँ,
that I format ID.
no, 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 it is not. It is not throwing error. Okay,
So you
I
have to
tested
check.
yesterday.
So you have to catch that error, na?
No, actually, that's why I'm telling you, to
Listen,
get
listen,
a
listen,
course.
listen. Error handling is
Yes.
important thing. For example, I am using this bootcamp ID over here. So if I am not catching error over here whenever I putting this information, the wrong ID, then it is. But what you are doing at the time of getting, you are not error, dealing with this error. You are not writing
No,
any code for this
no,
bootcamp
no.
ID. So how it
My,
will work?
my, my question is to get a particular course. Why there is a two routing? That is
Where is
that is
two
my
routing? I don't
question.
know. What means where is two routing?
This one also you can have the if you go through this way, bootcamp slash bootcamp ID
But
slash
why we are going
courses.
to do this? Paresh bhai,
No, no,
why
I'm
we are
not
going
going
to
to
do
do
this?
this. No,
So
just I'm telling you, this way also we can access, because we hooked this the course
of
routing in
course,
the
to write
bootcamp ID.
one program, just like I'm using like this, right? So you can use like if and
Okay.
else, if else and else. So there are different ways. But if it is not required, then we are not going to go. If you want to
No, no, that is
catch
fine.
my nodes, if I want to catch my nodes, then why don't I do it directly? But I can do it also in a round way. So there are different way. We are not going to do this.
Okay, okay, okay. No
We
problem. Just
definitely
I
find out cleaner code, shortcut, and robust code. So
okay.
also
No, no, that
whenever
is
you
fine.
are
Okay.
passing any parameter, remember whenever
Uh,
you're passing any parameter in the path, so always you should catch error of this value, because these are dynamic value. So for each dynamic value you have to catch the error always. So if I'm not writing anything, like whenever I'm adding or getting, if I'm not putting anything over here or might be here at the time of adding, then it will, whatever you want you can dump to the database. So that is what the main important thing, that whenever you are passing any parameter or anything in the dynamic value you are passing, because these things version 1 courses, these are static. So without this you cannot change this, but this is changeable. So if you are not catching error that if ID is bad, then also it is not going to throw error, then it will a problem. And we are handling it in the Mongo's level, and we can also
Yes,
do
yes.
it in controller level as well by using any validator. Either you can use express validator, either you can write custom code for validator for each field. You can do it, but you have to do, you should do it. The
Yeah,
validator
yeah.
I'm not explaining you, but express validator is also there. Those who are Node.js
Okay.
developer, they are aware about it. So you can use that as well, because we have to do the error handling, and validation is most important. That's why we are doing validation from the front end side, then API, the controller level, then database level. Three type of validation, three step validation we are doing. And different type of validation, as I mentioned, required validation, then type validation, and custom validation. Type validation is also a custom validation, right? So,
Right.
and you can do any, if you want to create a URL, for example, like ABCD, like ABC, it doesn't matter. You have to just put this URL over there in the route, inside route. For example, you want to create this, then you can inside route, you can create a route like this here. It will reach over there. You understand?
Yes, yes, I understand. But my questions was something different. क्योंकि हमने इस ये राउट टोटल जो राउट है अभी जो यहाँ जितने सारे राउट है ये सब राउट को आपने हुक किया हुआ है, यूज किया हुआ है बूट कैम्प के अंदर।
नहीं,
तो
सबके
मैं
सबके सब नहीं किया हुआ है। जहाँ पे
किया
जरूरत
है,
थी, जहाँ
किया
पे
हुआ है,
बूट कैंप आईडी खाली
किया
किया
हुआ
गया
है।
है।
वही है ना, मैं इसीलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ,
वो एक
आप
ही
एक बार
है।
वो खुलिए, क्या बोलते हैं। नहीं, ये सारे जितने भी राउट है ना, मैं वो बूट कैम्प स्लैश बूट कैम्प आईडी से मैं कॉल करवा सकता हूँ। मेरा
हाँ,
कहने का
वो
मतलब
कर
वो
ही
है।
सकते हैं, वो कर ही सकते हैं,
अब मैं
बट
वही
करना
बोला,
नहीं है
कर,
हमको।
मैं बस वही कि मेरा क्वेश्चन था, मतलब
हम्म,
वो फ्लॉज नहीं लग रहा है आपको?
क्यों?
क्योंकि एक में दो, एक तो मैंने बनाया, ऊपर से मैंने जैसे इसको हुक किया, तो मैं उसके हिसाब से भी मैं कर सकता हूँ, और वो टाइम पे मैं वो बूट कैंप आईडी में एबीसीडी डाल दूं तो भी वो कॉल हो जाएगा, क्योंकि वो इग्नोर ही करता है उसको, वो चीज को। आप एक बार वो खोलोगे ना तो आपको ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा, वो क्या बोलते हैं, पोस्टमैन।
आप ऐसे बोल रहे
या
हो
अभी कंटिन्यू
यहाँ
करो,
पे,
नेक्स्ट टाइम मैं करूँ।
देखो देखो,
हाँ,
आप ऐसे बोल रहे हो, ठीक है, वो बिजनेस के हम देखें। आप बोल रहे हो कि यहाँ पे मैंने करके स्लैश आईडी पास कर दूंगा कुछ भी,
हाँ।
और
तो
ये
यहाँ
जो,
यहाँ नहीं है, यहाँ यहाँ ये जो आपने एबीसीडी लिखा है ना, इसके
हाँ
अंदर आप कोर्स का आईडी लिख दोगे ना,
हाँ
कोर्स का आईडी, ये
हाँ
एबीसीडी के जगह पे कोर्स का आईडी लिख दोगे, तो
हाँ,
ये गेट कोर्स को कॉल करेगा।
ये लिखा क्या? देर इज नो एरर, देर इज
ये
एरर, देर इज नो
ये
एबीसीडी कोर्स।
वो नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, मेरा कहना है ये जो एबीसीडी आपने लास्ट में लिखा है ना,
हम्म,
इसके जगह पे आपको कोर्स का आईडी डालने का है, कोर्स का। तो ये जो राउट है ना, वो गेट कोर्स को कॉल करेगा। मेरा जस्ट कहने का मतलब ये है।
अच्छा, आप यहाँ
इसके
ये
अंदर,
बोल रहे हो ना, यहाँ पे डालोगे
हाँ
तो अभी ये कॉल करेगा। सो ये आप बोल रहे
हाँ,
हो कि
यहाँ,
ये राउट क्यों ऐसे बना है कि ये यहाँ पे जो रीराउट क्यों किया है, ये नहीं करना चाहिए, ऐसे बोल रहे हो?
हमारे रीराउट सबके साथ रीराउट हो गया है। तो मैं जितने भी कोर्स का राउट आपने बनाया, 5 7 8 जो भी है, वो
हम्म,
सबके साथ वो बूट कैंप स्लैश बूट कैंप आईडी ऐड हो गया सामने, क्योंकि
हम्म,
हमने यूज किया है ना वो थिंग को, तो
हाँ इट
सबके
इज,
साथ वो यूज हो गया। वो
हाँ
एक
इट इज
फ्लॉज लगा
फाइन।
मेरे को, मैंने कल यूज
No,
करा
no,
था।
no, it is fine, but it will not if you are getting in here, because if it is authenticated, then you cannot get it out without authentication. But it's open API, then you can get it.
हाँ,
मीन्स आप ऐसे
ओके
बोल
ओके।
रहे हो कि वो यहाँ पे यूज नहीं करे बिना आप कर सकते, यहाँ पे रीराउट करे
हाँ
बिना
हाँ हाँ
आप डायरेक्ट पाथ डाल
हाँ
सकते थे। इट्स फाइन,
हाँ।
इट्स फाइन, नॉट एन इशू, बट आई डोंट वांट
ओके
टू
ओके
duplicate it, that's why I did it. Let me
ओके ओके, नो
yeah,
प्रॉब्लम, ओके, थैंक्स थैंक्स।
let me change it. Okay, so now aggregation. So aggregation is most important thing right now. Right now we are going to move to aggregation. Let me see, it is completed. Yes, everything is completed. Okay. So now aggregation is the last part, which is most important part, and most of the time the complex query we have generated using aggregation, right? So let me see. So how aggregation works exactly? So aggregation, so whenever you're dealing with, when aggregation is required to retrieve data in a structured way. So all the aggregation methods I'll show you what are the aggregation methods are running inside a pipeline one by one, right? Like for example, this is collection model. Inside model, you can pass all this method, a pipeline method, aggregation method. These are aggregation method. You can pass inside an array one by one. So it will all method will return a object on which the another method will work. It is just like in JavaScript or in other language. It's just like method chaining, but each stage will return some object on which each some data on which the next step will perform. Every stage output of the previous stage. So every stage, I will already mention here, every stage receive the output of the previous stage, and it will perform his task in this data which has taken from the previous stage. So let's see what are the pipelines, aggregation pipelines. So you can see this video or you can see it. So just like aggregate, okay, so this is a model name, then aggregate. So inside aggregate you can pass aggregate methods. These are pipeline methods, you can say match, group, or there are so many methods. I will show the reference also, but see the example how it works. This is the reference of all operator, pipeline operator of aggregator. So most of the time we use these methods. There are so many methods you can see. So most of the time we use lookup, projection, right? So who said that he used projection? This project, right? Instead of selecting proper field of the document, a specific field of the document, you can use project to do that as well. Also, you can see lookup over here, right? So inside lookup, you can, it is just like a inner left in outer join. You can see here, it is a left outer join. Lookup is nothing but a left outer join in relational database. So means from which collection, then what is your local field and what is the foreign field, and what is the output. If get the output, then what would be the field name in which you are going to store it. So most of the time you use, those who are working on Node.js, develop Node.js, I think they know, they most of the time they use this, right? Lookup. So except lookup, there are so many also, those so many projects also available. Like match, we always use. Match is nothing but the find query. Inside find query, whatever the things you have, whatever the thing you want to select, you can pass inside it. Inside, just like find query, you are passing that name equal to ABCD, for example. Then it will filter. So it is nothing but the find query, execution of find query, the match. It will match something and return for you, return document for you. After that, most of the time we use group. So group method is always used. I don't know whether it is there or not. Group, ABCD group. Most of the time you use group method as well. So group method is used whenever, for example, you are going to use, you want to get the average of some multiple values, summary of average of some of 3 or 4 values. So for that, what you have to do, you have to filter multiple records or multiple documents, out of which for specific field you are going to create another field which is a average of all fields. So that's why we are going to use group method. And in group method, what we are usually use, now we can create our own object, create a separate object by manipulating the previous data, right? So this is the field, you can see, you can write a custom field. So ID of course will be there, in which you are going to show the aggregated data, and another field in which you are going to show the aggregated value. So let's see example so that you can understand better. But I suggest you that you should learn each and every method in the aggregate, because these methods are most of the time used for writing complex queries, right? So let's see one example over here. So why, what we are going to do over here, let me explain you. So I want to add a field called average cost in the database, right? In bootcamp. So what is the average cost? Now, inside one bootcamp, there is multiple courses available. So I want to show what is the average cost of all courses, and I want to show the average cost inside bootcamp database, bootcamp collection. That is my main objective. So for that, what I will do? So let me see the data first. What is the data we have available? What are the things already there in bootcamp? So right now you can see there is no average cost available here. Right? So I want to add the average cost of all courses related to this bootcamp. Right? So let me do one thing. So first I have to delete everything. So to delete all the things, let me close the server and run the seeder. There. Node seeder, then for delete -d.
But Cedar, please check. CK, Cedar is connected to a course, I think. Last time you updated.
Sorry, seeder is for everybody, everything, not only for one. Just a minute, I just changed the name of the schema. That's why it's one error. Let me do one thing. Find, I can find info. Seeder. Okay, teacher. Insert seeder somewhere else. Okay. So yes, Paresh bhai, क्या बोल रहे थे? What are you saying?
Actually, I thought this Cedar is last time you changed for the courses.
No, seeder. I have created a seeder in which I can create for all courses and bootcamp everything, and I can
You
delete
have.
many also. Yes,
I got
right.
it. Actually,
So
I
right.
created two. I
Okay, no,
created
no,
two Cedar for two files. That's why I thought, okay, no problem.
no. I just
You
show
use
you.
the both.
Uh,
You
for
use the both.
inside import data, you can add whatever the courses or bootcamp or any other things. User, if you're when we are going to create user, also you can import from here. So
You
right
have
now,
added the both schema here. Yes.
sorry. Yes. So I don't want to do
Okay,
it,
no problem.
yes, manually. Na? Repetitive work we should not do. So now delete it. So now I don't want to insert data, which is, where is it? So I don't want to insert the course data right now like this, because I want to do it manually. So when I add courses, then what happens? It will automatically create the average cost and display in bootcamp, right? So I don't do it here. So let me insert once again. So now you can see that only bootcamps has been there, but course is not there. So I don't think it is opened yet. This compass, Mongo compass. Okay. We can see from here as well. So I am if I am get all courses, I am doing it over here, then you can see nothing will be there. Nothing should not be there. Okay, sorry. Let me start the server. Done. Now let's see. Look, there is no data found inside courses, but inside bootcamp it is there. All bootcamps. Okay, bootcamp is there. So now what we are going to do, we are going to insert courses, and according to that we are going to calculate the average bootcamp course or average cost of all courses, and we have to display it in bootcamp, inside bootcamp. Okay, so let me make it a bit bigger. Okay, now seeder is completed. I just delete and insert only bootcamps. Okay, so let me first copy and take it inside bootcamp, sorry, inside courses, files, models, course model. I just change the name according to the other things, but I prefer that these are the models, so I can use it as a schema, course schema. It is fine. So model, inside course model, so I am going to paste those things. I want to explain in details over here, so there are some new things also I need to explain. Okay, so what is static method over here? I want to explain you. So do you have idea about static and non-static method in ES6 or any programming language, Java or PHP?
The method is directly attached to the schema itself rather than the instance.
Right. So whenever you are defining any static method, then you don't have to instantiate that class, or instead of creating any object, you can call this method through the class name, right? That is static method. And non-static, to call non-static method, you have to first instantiate that object or class, then on that object you can call this method, obj.method name, right? So in MongoDB, in Mongos, inside Mongos ORM, you can create static method like this, schema dot static, then method name, and you can call these methods like this, schema dot constructor dot static method, right? But if it is a non-static method, then you have to call it through object dot method name. Clear? So don't be confused. Any programming language you can see this concept, the static non-static method. In Java it also is also there. This is also there in Java and C++, I think. But in JavaScript we use in this way. Okay, so what I have done over here, so I have first created one method, and I'm, instead of repeating this functionality in all this pre and post method in middleware, I'm just creating one method and calling them inside this post and pre. So the post and pre are middleware, as I explained. So what they are doing actually here, so before, after saving data, whenever you're creating what is that course, so after saving into database, it is, this function is going to be called, right? What is the meaning of post? Means after saving the data. If I am writing pre, then before saving into the data, inserting data into the database, this method is going to be called like this. So whenever you are deleting any courses, so for example I am deleting the courses, then before delete I have to calculate this, because after delete I cannot get the ID for the calculation, right? So always whenever you are deleting, so you have to do it before deleting something, but whenever you are calculating after saving, so you have to do post method. Clear? Okay. Now what is this get average cost method doing over here? Let me take some water. So till now everything is clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So let's see what I'm doing over here. I'm just creating an aggregate query over here, and which is going to run on this schema. Which schema? Core schema. So do you know what is the use of this all most of the time? Because here I'm not one more thing I will just want to explain here, that never use arrow function inside schema, because it is not that much advanced that you can understand arrow functions or any C plus sorry ES6 concept, the destructuring all the stuff. So don't use this. Just use ES5 or the core JavaScript concept. So this, whenever you are writing somewhere in this somewhere else inside object oriented JavaScript, so it is always referring to the current object. So whenever you are instantiating any object, so this always refer to that object only. So this is again another topic. It is very vast thing. We are not going to discuss more. So remember always this refer to the schema. Okay. So schema dot aggregate, because we are whenever you are writing any Mongo's method like find by id, and delete, find by id and update, find one, right? So whenever we are using remove, whatever the methods from Mongo's we are using, and they are working on the object of model, right? So this is referred to model. Then aggregate, inside aggregate, this I am creating a pipeline. Inside in array we can pass multiple object, and is multiple object means it will contain multiple methods to execute your data, and each step you can find some object, means some data, object means some document, your data. So if I'm commenting this, I can show you. For example, let me return this from here, so that it is not going to execute anything over here, right? Then okay, also let me comment this. So now what is match? Match is just simply as find method, working as a find method, whose bootcamp id equal to the id we are going to pass over there, here, where, here, at the time of save. So let me create a bootcamp, create a course, sorry, create a course. So let me say, let me get a proper bootcamp id over here. Get all bootcamp, it is already there. So okay, let me first one, let me say take any id from here, this one. Then I'm going to create a course. So this is the course, this is the id of bootcamp and course, and inside body I am passing. Okay, now I am going to, what I am going to do, let me show first what is returning it. Okay, bootcamp id is not defined, referer error. I am doing some mistakes at the time of create. Course controller, delete. Oh, I did mistakes. But let's create one, add courses. Okay, what did it say?
bootcamp ID.
Yes, this is not defined, it says.
No, this is first line. The 62 lines required body bootcamp ID.
This body dot bootcamp. Oh no, it is bootcamp, I think. Yes, it is bootcamp. It is not bootcamp.
This bootcamp ID
Requested
parameters. Okay.
body. Because I am creating this bootcamp ID, a bootcamp
Okay.
parameter inside body before inserting, right?
Right, right.
So
External.
yes. So what is the issue here? Bootcamp ID is not bootcamp is not defined. Okay. So where is bootcamp then? The course is here. Bootcamp, capital bootcamp. Where is it? Add course. Wait. Do I need to call it here bootcamp? Bootcamp. Then this is bootcamp model. Okay. So now it is created, and you can see the object, the console I have mentioned here, where the object means first stage after matching. So I'm passing the bootcamp ID and it will return the what are the courses associated with this bootcamp ID, right? So now you can see inside console, let me expand it. So you can see the ID, this is one ID inside an array, right? And I have created that, right? So, and on this document I'm going to operate again. This document I'm going to operate another uh, operations. What is this? Group operations. So let me uncomment it. Let's create another one. For example, let me, it is 10,000. Change it. So it is created. Now you can see. So what I am doing over here, I am creating an object after grouping all the informations. So what are the other informations? Like all the records I am pushing into it, right? Means two records I enter into this, and average up to one is 8,000 tuition fee, another is 12,000, sorry 10,000. So average cost is 9,000, right? But what I am doing over here, I am just grouping two courses, out of which I am finding out the average of tuition field, right? And create an object whose keys is underscore ID and average cost. So you can see here ID, for this ID we are bootcamp ID, we are finding the average cost. Clear? Right? Then I'm going to push this data, this ID I'm finding. Then what I will do, now I have this data, then I can update it inside bootcamp data. Means I am finding this ID and update average cost equal to 9,000, which I am going to do over here. Now I find this object. So what I will do, now find by ID and update, and I am passing the bootcamp ID here. Okay. Um, uh, so this method find by ID and update will get the which ID he needs to update and what are the information he needs to update. So what are the information need to update? Now average cost, and I am passing the average cost which is calculated from here through query, not through programming, right? Then the 10 divided by 10 and multiplied by 10 is used to round up this, and I am using math.ceil method. Seal and floor method, if you understand, it is fine. Otherwise you can see it from internet. right? And after average cost has been calculated, I am updating it to the bootcamp model. Clear? So it is very simple. So if you want to see now course has been created. If you want to see all bootcamp, let me see all bootcamp over here. So you can see courses inside it because I am using reverse populate. So one is 800, another is 8,000, another is 10,000. So what is the average cost? What is the average cost?
9,000.
9,000, and it will be displayed somewhere else over here.
Average cost.
Yes, so average cost is not displaying now here because let me see where it is. Find by ID and update. So which ID it was? Get courses. Right. No, this is one. Create course. This is the ID. Let me get the single bootcamp. Putting this. Okay, the same one. It's coordinate, streets, career, photo, Slack. Okay, I'm not populating over there. That's why it is not displaying. But this is fine. But it should be here, na?
It should be. You don't need to populate here because it is not a virtual page.
No, I'm not going to populate. Course is populated. Course population, I was doing it only get all filter, no? That's why it is populating there, but not populating here. I'm looking at the average cost, which is why it is not displaying. So let's see why it is.
That's it should be there.
Yes.
Because I think it is not updated because still it is null value, so that's why it is not coming. So directly we can check in the schema.
No. Let me replace here. Average cost is here. So it should be displayed over here. I'm updating it. Find by ID bootcamp dot find by ID. This ID is there, and you can insert this data, right? So whenever I'm creating this, it should be displayed. Okay, let me do it once again. Create courses with 10,000. Okay, it was not done yet, I think, because I was commented at that time. Now it will be created. Okay, done. So 8, 10, 12. So what is the average cost? Now you can see it is 10,000. So it should be inside bootcamp. The average cost should be inside the bootcamp. Now look, average cost is there. Okay. And these courses are what I was saying at that time, Paresh bhai. The courses was due to the reverse populate, but I am not doing it in the single bootcamp controller. That's why it was not displaying courses over there, but it is there. Now you can see the average cost is here. Clear? Any doubt?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, excuse me. On the line number 58, what the this dot model bootcamp? It is referring to the bootcamp model, right?
Yes. Bootcamp model.
So, okay. So
And
we are
find
referring from
I'm
the
updating. I'm just simply updating the bootcamp update of the bootcamp model with this object.
Okay. So from the course schema, we can refer to other models as well.
Yes, definitely. Because it is referencing to the bootcamp. Yeah, here you can see the reference is bootcamp.
Yes, sir.
You are referencing
Okay,
there. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then whenever you are deleting, if you are deleting any bootcamp, also it is going to be run. But it is before deleting. If I am deleting any courses, for example, I am deleting this course. Let me check one ID. This one, the 8,000 I'm going to delete. Then delete course. Okay, it is deleted. Now let's see, it should be updated inside bootcamp, right? So 8,000 will be deleted. This one will be deleted. So look, now average cost is changed 11,000 because it is 10,000 and 12,000 is there, 8,000 I have deleted, but it was updated before deleting from the database because I am creating the middleware, so it called. Okay, so it is not important because this is already explained earlier. So whatever operation you can do over here, you can do it here, but the main important thing is here, this one. So how you can build your query, it is up to you. And I suggest just go to this documentation, MongoDB documentation. You should learn more about it because this one is most important. Pipeline stages. There are so many methods which is related to aggregation. You can use them. So those who are most expert, means you can say expert in relational database, and they are very much flexible whenever joining and pulling data from multiple database, and how you can do this using MongoDB. This section will help them, and most of the time we use this section for the complex query. Okay, so go ahead and learn. So this is what from my side for MongoDB, because it was not completely a MongoDB session or training, so I cannot go through each and everything, but most of the topic I have covered. Means I just touch, so you can expand your knowledge or learn more about the MongoDB and Mongos from the tutorial. I have give you the references and URLs. You can read from there. You can practice more and more to make yourself expert, right? So
Yes.
from next class we'll start. If some yeah, I can show you something related to, because it is also not related to authentication. So I can show you the file upload if required. Might be using Multer or maybe Express upload, file upload. Okay, I'll show that. Then you can jump to the JWT and authentication, login, all the stuff. Okay, but MongoDB, uh, in whenever we are dealing with other module like authentication module, so we can of course dealing with database, but not we are not going to focus any functionality or anything related to MongoDB, right? So if you require, then we can do a specific MongoDB training so that we can cover each and everything, might be in details. But you can start your project with this. It is not a big deal. It is not a even now you can start development. It is not a problem for you. Okay. So authentication and all the stuff are coming under security, but these are basic things I want to explain you. But the advanced Node.js regarding all the details I will explain you, might be later. But you should start practicing those first. Then we will learn the what is the advanced Node.js section, like security. Then might be how we can use microservices driven architecture. We can use microservices based architecture to work on microservices architecture. Then how we can use database caching. Might be we can use Redis. How we can use that. All the stuff we can learn at the end the advanced section, right? Because right now if you don't practice it, you don't know all these basic things, you cannot understand anything, nothing at the advanced stage, right? So let's conclude.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
No problem.
all the best for the MongoDB, because I tried a lot to make you understand.
Yes.
Definitely you go from here to get more knowledge, because these are the basic things I cover. Right? So those who are front-end developer, what do you think? What is how MongoDB is difficult? Is it difficult for you, or it is Guneshwar?
Yes, sir.
Is it difficult?
It is going to be quite interesting to work in MongoDB.
It is like JavaScript, right?
Yeah.
Those who are in means acquainted with SQL or any relational database, then it is completely different. But you can relate them how you can some achieve those
Right, right.
things in MongoDB.
Uh, okay, I have just small questions, very
Mhm.
little. So every time this aggregation function, whatever we are calculating over here for average, so
Mhm.
every time we need to create, uh, need to put in the particular field or runtime we can calculate also.
Runtime you can
Because
calculate also. You can write this query inside controller as well. I'm just
okay,
writing simple function over here. That's it. But these are the middleware. This is also you can see
ha,
inside controller method. I'm using this find by ID and update in controller. These are the query normal
right.
Mongo's method I'm using over here. This the
Yes, yes,
complete function you can see you can write inside controller. Anywhere you can
yes.
write it.
Okay. Actually, in
But
MySQL, we
these
directly query.
yes, but these are the middleware.
Or,
Schema.post.
and parallelly, we can go with the MySQL connection with the Node.js for
You can
practice
use
purpose.
simply I can say you can use any database. Okay, Nirisha,
Okay.
you can leave.
Um, okay. Okay. Thanks.
Mm. Yeah, no. I'm talking about Nirisha. Nirisha is going to leave because he is on stand-up call.
Oh
Okay. So what you are asking, Paresh bhai?
no,
Yeah,
actually,
database. Huh. So you can use simply you can use any database you want. It is just a programming language, intermediate programming language to create the API faster,
yes.
right?
Okay. Mm.
So you can use
Because
MongoDB, you
uh,
can use MySQL, you can use SQL, you can use also PostgreSQL, whatever you want. You can connect. Only the connection, whatever you have did for the DB config inside config DB section.
right.
These things
Yes,
need to
I
be
will go
changed.
with the
This
MySQL.
thing is going to be
Right.
changed. That's it.
Right. 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 No, for MySQL, it will be quite easy to me right now. Mongo's, it's actually we have to go with the the
Yes.
aggregation function is the
Because
main thing. It's
initially also we are working on MySQL for S5 because MongoDB we are not acquainted with. So
it's bit
gradually,
different. We need to have a lot of practice in Mongo
exactly.
because otherwise I think it is very complex to execute things in Mongos. But once you do it, then it is very quite easy.
Yes,
That is
definitely.
okay. I will definitely will go through the Mongos.
Yes, because right now, frankly speaking, right now we are dealing with big projects. Means you can say those who are more than 10,000, 5,000 hours or 6,000, 7,000 hours. Also, we are dealing through MongoDB. We can because now you can see how validation works. Because most of the time, our assumption was MongoDB is used for unstructured data. Means whatever you want
Right.
to just dump, you can dump it inside it. No need to record define any field and nothing else, right? And you want to take as a JSON, you can dump as a JSON.
Yes.
But no, we can use properly through Mongos, or you can validate your schema manually as well. If you are not using Mongos, you can do it manually as well, right? Because it is difficult that what is the field type, how you can validate your field is up to you, but you have to do it manually, which is time taking. That's why people use ORM, the Mongo's ORM.
No, still, whatever you have taught us or we have practiced with the Mongos and Node, there is no, that much difference or that much flaws in it. Everything is okay because I'm working in API since 2 or 3 years.
Yes,
It's
those who have
like
worked
good.
on worked already with dealing with database and creating API, it is easy for them, not a big deal.
Just we
So
need to
why I am
practice with the
focusing
query.
more on MongoDB is because you guys have idea about how to create API, right? It is very easy
Right,
for
right.
you, but you are not aware about how to dealing with MongoDB, and these things also applicable to front end developer as well. That's why I focus more on
Yes.
this because that is the main motive I have. But, so let's see. Let's conclude. And most of the time I was busy because of unplanned meeting. escalation, client escalation, meetings, and extended meeting. So I am unable to conduct the training. So sorry for that.
Okay, it's no problem. But you just updated the code because we don't